What's up, everybody? Watt007 here, and welcome back to a brand new Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links Leak video. And today's Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links Leak video is going to be more of a speculative video. I'm going to be discussing on the potential fact that we could get a future Lightsworn Main Box in Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links, or that we might get some future Lightsworn support in Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links. Now, this is going to be a mix of talking about confirmed content and also speculative content, so be sure to listen throughout this video because I'm going to be like a heads up on like this is my thoughts and opinions of the potential of where these cards are going to be going to, but at the same time, a lot of these cards could not even be what I'm going to be saying in today's video. So be on the lookout for that, because today's video is going to be mostly discussing about two new cards that are going to be coming in a Duel Quest event, and then there's a ton of new Lightsworn cards that are already in Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links, but they have some rarity changes in the game. So the rarities that they used to have got changed, and normally when Konami changes the rarities of these cards, it means that they're going to potentially add them in different events, boxes, etc. So if you guys are excited for today's speculative video, at the same time leak video, be sure to go show your support by hitting that like button in the video down below. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new, and without further ado, let's get into today's Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links Leak video. So the first two cards we're going to be taking a look at are cards that are leaked in Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links. These are not cards that were already in the game that got rarity changes. These first two cards are going to be cards that are brand new to the game's files and are most likely going to get added in like a Duel Quest event or something like that. Because the first card we're going to take a look at is Toy Emperor, and this card was exclusive to the anime and the Tag Force games, but now it's coming into Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links. As most of you guys know, that we have a ton of these anime exclusive cards that got added into Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links for like Duel Quest events and events like those. So most likely Toy Emperor and the other card I'm going to take a look at in today's video are for that event. So that's why I'm speculating that Duel Quest is going to be the event where we can unlock this card. Anyways, though, Toy Emperor is an Earth level 6 machine effect monster. When this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle, you can add one trap from your deck to your hand. This card has 2300 attack and 800 defense. Nothing insane. This is not something that I'm going to be hyped about, but I don't know. It is a decent effect, but at the same time, as you guys know with trap cards, you can't activate trap cards right away. You have to set it first and wait a whole nother turn. So like, it's a cool effect, but is it really going to be practical? No. You have to, this card's a level 6 monster anyway, so you'll have to tribute summon for this card or figure out a way to special summon it, and then it has to destroy the opponent's monster battle before you can search for a trap card. So like, it's a good effect, but at the same time, it's just not practical. That's what I'm trying to get at right here. But hey, Toy Emperor, let's go. Anime card, let's get it, baby. The next card we're going to be taking a look at is Crowning of the Emperor. This is a spell normal card. You contribute one Toy Soldier and special summon one Toy Emperor from your hand or deck. Now this card is alright because you contribute Toy Soldier, which is already in Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links, and special summon your Toy Emperor. So that's pretty cool that we can special summon Toy Emperor, because I did not know that when I was talking about Toy Emperor originally. But yeah, the fact that we have a card that can easily special summon into Toy Emperor is pretty cool. My point still stands though that Toy Emperor's effect is cool. It's just not a practical effect, but it is cool that we can special summon it with Crowning of the Emperor. We'll probably see Playmaker Duel Links make a deck related to this toy deck. Maybe I'll consider making a toy deck. I don't really know, but it is cool nonetheless. And as you guys can see, Toy Soldier is already in Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links. I actually have 2 copies of the card right now, and you can get it for the Duel Quest event, or you used to been able to get it for the Duel Quest event, but eventually you'll be able to use like your SR tickets or whatever to get a couple copies of Toy Soldier, I'd assume, especially if they're going to release Toy Emperor and the other spell card that we just talked about in a future Duel Quest. So there'll be ways to obtain all the other cards if you are really interested. But yeah, this just goes to show that, yeah, these 2 cards that got leaked are most likely for the Duel Quest, considering that Toy Soldier got added into the Duel Quest event previously. So there you go. Now let's get into the juicy stuff of today's Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links video. So the first card we're going to talk about is this card right here called Raiden, Hand of the Lightsworn. Now this card is already in Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links. It was used by an NPC in an event, so it's currently not attainable for us in Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links. If you remember the Blair events that we've been getting in Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links, those Blair events, she used a Lightsworn deck as her deck that you had to go against. So she had some cards that were exclusive to her and were already added into the game, but they were never attainable for us to the players. Since the fact that these cards did get rarity changes, we're hoping, or the community is hoping, that possibly these new Lightsworn cards that did get rarity changes in Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links are either going to be for a future Lightsworn Main Box, they're either going to be for level up reward cards for Blair, or potential farmable cards for Blair when she does come unlockable in this month of February. So that's why these cards probably got some rarity changes. Who knows, we might see a main box in Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links related to Lightsworns. That'll be some hype. I'm looking forward to that. And since all these cards did get rarity changes, and I don't think I've ever talked about them on my YouTube channel before, I thought it would have been a fun idea to talk about all these cards in detail, and then we can do a prediction game and saying, is this card too OP as a level up reward card? Is this card good for a box? Etc, etc. So without further ado, let's get into it. Raiden, Hand of the Lightsworn is a light level 4 warrior tuner monster. During your main phase, you can send the top 2 cards from your deck to the graveyard. Then if any Lightsworn monsters were sent to the graveyard by this effect, this card gains 200 attack until the end of your opponent's turn. You only can use the effect of Raiden Hand of Lightsworn once per turn. Once per turn during your end phase, you can send the top 2 cards of your deck to the graveyard. This card has 1700 attack and 1000 defense. This card's pretty solid, especially for the fact that it is a level 4 tuner monster. So you can send Lightsworn cards are just cards from the top of your deck to the graveyard and boost this card's attack. So you can get this card to become a 2100 monster, which is not too shabby whatsoever for a 4-star monster. Second of all, with Lightsworns, as you guys know, Lightsworns do like to get pitched to the graveyard because they get bonus effects, or they get certain effects when they do get pitched to the graveyard. And what's nice about Raiden is the fact that it is a tuner. If you pitch cards like Lightsworn Wolf to the graveyard, Lightsworn Wolf's effect states that if it gets sent to the graveyard, you can actually special summon it onto the field, and that's a 4-star non-tuner monster right there. So you can combine Wolf with Raiden and go for a synchro summon of an 8-star synchro monster, which is absolutely insane to think about. So that's pretty good right there. There's also other Lightsworn monsters that do like to special summon themselves depending on how many Lightsworns are in the graveyard. They get effects when there's depending on how many Lightsworns are in the graveyard. So this card is definitely a solid card. I can easily see this being an SR card in a future main box in Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links. So it's just a pretty solid card. Next card we're going to be taking a look at is Charge of the Light Brigade, and this card is a really cool card, and this card's rarity got changed to an SR card. This is a spell normal card. You can send the top 3 cards of your deck to the graveyard and add 1 level 4 or lower Lightsworn monster from your deck to your hand. This card is pretty freaking crazy, and I can easily see this being a main box card in Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links. So this is the type of card that is probably going to get added into a main box of Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links, and if this card alone makes Lightsworns good enough, they're probably going to hit this card onto the ban list, because Duel Links has had a history of hitting problematic searchable cards in Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links that are SR cards from a box. They've never hit a UR card from a box before, but they definitely have hit SR cards from a box before, so that's pretty crazy right here. So I really don't think this will be a level up reward for Blair. If it is, that would be absolutely insane, but I think this is going to definitely be another card that could get added into a future Lightsworn main box. That's the hope anyways, that this card can get added to a future Lightsworn main box as an SR card. But yeah, this card's really good because of course you can send your Lightsworns from your deck to the graveyard, which is awesome. You can add a level 4 or lower Lightsworn monster for your deck to your hand, so you send your Lightsworns to the graveyard, get their effects and whatnot, and get lucky and see if you can pitch the Lightsworn monsters that you need in the graveyard to go for combos, and then on top of that you get to search for a level 4 or lower Lightsworn monster. So you pitch 3 cards and then you get to search for one of your Lightsworn monsters that you need for your combo. That's pretty insane. This card was used by Blair though, so keep in mind of that. So I seriously don't think that this card will be a card from Blair, but she did use this in one of her Lightsworn decks when you're trying to farm against her in one of her previous events. But yeah, this card is just really cool, and I could definitely see this being a SR card in a future main box. Really good search card for Lightsworns. Next up we have Lumina Lightsworn Summoner. This card got changed to a rarity. This is a light level 3 spellcaster effect monster. Once per turn you can discard 1 card, target level 4 or lower Lightsworn monster in your graveyard, and special summon the target. Once per turn during your end phase, send the top 3 cards from your deck to the graveyard. This card has 1000 attack and 1000 defense. The only really thing I can think of with this card is that this card can open up combos for synchro summoning. You can pitch one of your Lightsworns to the graveyard and then target one of your level 4 or lower Lightsworn monsters, like for example one of the previous Lightsworn monsters we talked about, Raiden. You can if you have a Raiden in your graveyard, you could special summon it onto the field and use Raiden and Lumina to synchro summon to a 7-star synchro monster. That's not too bad. This card is a rare card at the end of the day. I could see this being in a Lightsworn main box, but this is also a card that isn't so OP that it could easily get added as like a level up reward card for Blair or something like that, because this card isn't crazy good, but it's definitely a card that you should add into your 30 card Lightsworn deck. So I could see this card being added either in a box or a level up reward card for Blair and Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links. So it is good enough because you can pitch one of your Lightsworn cards that you don't need in your hand to the graveyard, and then special summon a Lightsworn monster that you need to get out of your graveyard onto the field. You can go for some synchro summons, you can go for some combos, etc, etc right there. So it's a solid card. I could see it both in a box or a level up reward card, that's for sure. Next card we're going to take a look at is Solar Recharge. This card got changed to a rarity. This card states you could discard 1 Lightsworn monster, draw 2 cards, and then the top 2 cards from your deck to the graveyard. This is a really solid card here. I could see this again as both a box card or a level up reward card for Blair, but no, this card is just really solid because you pitch one of your Lightsworn monsters, and as we discussed multiple times in this video, Lightsworns like to be in the graveyard. That's how their combos get popping. So you pitch one of your Lightsworns to the graveyard and then draw 2 cards, and then you send the top 2 cards from your deck to the graveyard. So while this card is just a neutral because you have to use Solar Recharge and you have to use you have to pitch 1 card to trigger this card's effect to only get 2 cards out of it, the extra value comes in on getting those 2 cards and then also pitching some of your cards from the deck to the graveyard. So this card is going to be very, very beneficial, and there's been some rumors in the Duel Links community that That Grass is Greener might get hit in Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links because of spell specialists and stuff. So even if That Grass is Greener does get hit, we got cards like Solar Recharge and the Light Brigade card that we talked about earlier that's still going to make Lightsworns consistent whether or not not that grassy greener does get hit or not. So definitely something to think about. I can see this both as a level up reward card for Blair or a box card. It is a rare rarity, so if this card is problematic, they'll probably hit it on a ban list if it does get added into Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links. But I'm very curious to see how well Lightsworns are going to be if they add all these cards that we're talking about in today's video in a box or a future event for Blair. Definitely curious about this, but yeah, another really good card to thin out the deck and really get the Lightsworn combos going, that is for sure. Next up, we're going to take a look at a card called DARKSEA Float. This got changed to a normal rarity. This is a dark level 1 machine effect monster. When this card on the field is destroyed by a card effect and sent to the graveyard, the owner of this card draws 1 card. This card has 0 attack and 300 defense. Honestly, the only thing I can think about this card is that maybe Greiger will get added into Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links, because if I remember correctly, DARKSEA Float was a card that Greiger used. So that's the only thing I can take away from this card. Other than that, this card is super mediocre, because if it gets destroyed by card effects in the graveyard, you get to draw a card, or the owner gets to draw a card. I guess that's cool, but at the same time, it's like, are you really going to want to just waste resources just to draw 1 card? There's better cards out there for deck thinning and deck searching and drawing, so I don't really know. Yeah, I'd say this is probably just like a one-of card in a box, or this card is maybe hinting towards Greiger coming into Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links. I guess I can do a quick research on seeing if DARKSEA Float was used by Greiger, and then I'll come back to you guys. Yeah, I just looked up on Yu-Gi-Oh! Wiki, and it did say that DARKSEA Float was used when Greiger was dueling against Crow Hogan, so maybe we'll get a Darksigner Greiger in Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links. That would be really cool. Even though I would much rather have Darksigner Misty in Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links over Greiger, I still feel like Greiger would be a great addition into Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links, because a lot of his cards are not in Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links yet, so I could definitely see Greiger becoming getting added into Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links. But still, add my girl Misty, Konami, please. Still, Greiger would be really cool, and maybe DARKSEA Float is hinting towards the fact that Greiger might come into Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links. We'll have to wait and see. So the final card that we're going to be taking a look at is PIKERU'S Second Sight. I'm sorry if I mispronounced this card, but this is a card that got changed to a normal rarity in Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links. This is a trap normal card until the opponent's second end phase. Your opponent shows you all the cards that they draw before adding them into their hand. So I could easily see this as a level up reward card or an event card for Blair. This kind of matches Blair's theme, I guess you could say, when it comes to like cutesy cards and stuff like that. Other than that, though, I don't think that this card is very, very good. It is still interesting that we're getting a card like this, because you get to know your opponent's cards and stuff. But other than that, at the same time, there is skills in Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links that actually help us to know what cards that your opponent has. I believe Aziju has a skill that you can check the top 5, or that you can see the card that your opponent's about to draw into for like 5 turns or something along those lines. So we already have skills in Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links that would do a better job than this card, but it's still interesting that we're getting this card in Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links, or potentially getting it in Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links, that's for sure. But yeah, this will probably just be some level up reward card from Blair. That's all I could really see this card being for Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links. Like I said, that was the final card to discuss about in today's Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links video. If you guys enjoyed today's Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links video and enjoyed the leaks and speculation, be sure to show your support by hitting the like button on the video down below. And if you guys are new to the YouTube channel, be sure to subscribe so you guys get notified when I release new Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links videos on this YouTube channel. Alongside of that, if you guys are fans of Pokemon, I actually started a brand new Pokemon Let's Play. It is the Pokemon Eclipse Platinum Randomizer Nuzlocke. A lot of shenanigans are happening in the Let's Play, so if you want to take a look at that, be sure to go take a look at that. But other than that, thank you so much for watching today's Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links video, and I'll go see you guys in the next one. Peace out, everybody.
In a cycle repeat. A lie. How many chasing their dreams? A lie. How many of us give up cause we taking the failure as if it's defeat? A lie. How many of us is weak? A lie. How many of us is scared? A lie. How many of us don't understand that we got somebody who really cares? A lie.